sweetness in the beginning.
What you doing out here with all this ass?
So I ended up adding some more pineapple juice, about like a cup and a half. And then the heat hits you in the middle. And just let it burn.
Let it burn, let it burn.
And then on the back end, it's just heat and freshness. So.
NANI?
Okay. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am your host, Big PP. I'm appreciaPate. What we have over here is June sneaking in on getting some water, and that's what that noise is. Thank you for waving to the camera, June. You already read my mind. It's those Pisces moons linking up. So, what I'm going to be doing today is not too much to do with holding these knives or doing a whole
May's
lot.
brought you a toy. She
Oh.
wants to participate too.
Well, I'm glad, and she's holding it very precariously underneath my tripod and lightly jiggling it with her excitement.
Are you following me back to the bedroom? I was trying
Okay.
to play with Serena, and she tried to play too. And horses, when they get excited, how they do that thing.
May, you keep on moving the camera. Just like my last video, I would come and talk about actually week 3 and now week 4 of culinary school so far, how it's been. And honestly, I love it so much. It's really great. I really feel like I'm somewhere where I'm going to actually utilize these skills and do something that is going to make me very happy in the long run, and that I actually originally expressed interest in before but didn't follow through with. Thank you for moving the camera again, May. Which actually I even mentioned before in actually my mukbang video, which I'll put a link down below if you haven't checked that out. Right before I went to Sweden, even actually when I met Julian Solomita and Colin Wafsicle, I expressed interest in opening a cafe, and that's what I originally wanted to do, but I didn't follow through. Actually completely, got real clouded up in my head for a while, but that's enough about that. I talk about that in the mukbang video, so if you want to hear all about that rambling, as well as a bunch of other stuff, go check that out. There's some good edits in there. But I figured while I talk about that, since last time I actually, made a little kit meal, right now I'm actually going to make my own pineapple habanero salsa. I've had this giant can of pineapple chunks sitting for a while, and I really needed to use them. I'm only going to be using even about like half of them with this about 4.5 cups of pineapple. I'm going to be making about, I want to say like 30 or 40 servings of salsa here, and I'm going to be using some habaneros as well as some jalapenos to spice it up. I'm not going to be removing the stems or the seeds, and I'm also going to be adding some diced red onion and some cilantro as well that I'm going to chop up a little bit before I toss that all in the food processor. But anyway, as I do want to be able to give this salsa out to some people and maybe see if my sanitation and safety instructor may want to try this, I'm going to go ahead and make myself sanitary in order to get ready for this.
What you doing out here with all this ass? Double cheeked up.
And we're all clean. Professor, I swear I wash my hands. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the parsley. Now let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the... Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the cilantro and then go... I'm going to do the things. Dog, get out of my mise en place.
May, get over here. You're the audience, not the sous chef.
I got the pineapple chilling back in the fridge since I am not exactly ready for it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and actually go and prepare some of this cilantro. And then we'll go ahead and get into the red onion and dice this up a little bit before we toss it into the food processor. May, you are hitting the camera with your toe because you're so hype. Oh my god, the camera is... Oh, I think you fixed it. May, out of the kitchen. May, go. Now getting into the cilantro. Let's get into chopping these up. I mean, who even needs a food processor? Gonna add this into our mix bowl. We'll do it just a little bit more.
Really big.
I know it is. I mean, I can use it though. Yeah. Call back to the last video. Just edit me on the Burger King guy with the tiny hands and the Whopper. Like, I gave her about 2 handfuls. She's always freaking out. Every cat, every time, just like insert that meme here. Full bowl. eats to the bottom of it in one area, screaming. So in food prep 1, we actually learned how to julienne some onions and carrots and celery, because we ended up making some consommé, which we learned as well. And we learned, that the 3 important ingredients are your ground meats, a quality stock, and your egg whites in order to form the little base of the raft that flavors the consommé. We also did learn that, you do have to julienne your veggies in order to make it, because otherwise it's not going to support the raft in the correct way that you need it to when flavoring the consommé. Along with that, we also learned how to separate the meat from a drumette, and also from the thighs of chicken, from the bone as well. And then in the next class, actually while I got this onion in my hand, we learned how to brulee onions, French style, because we ended up adding that into the consommé. But also we learned one other way, because he made some pho, and he called that the Vietnamese way, which was to basically slice the onion in half and just set it right there on the grill, or the burner on the stove, on the gas stove, and just let it burn.
Let it burn, let it burn, gotta let it burn.
Hello?
Onion.
FBI, open up!
And just let it really char up and crisp. What brulee means. It's just to burn.
It's burning.
And then we moved on to making a potato and leek soup, which was basically just learning how to prepare leeks, because they're one of the few vegetables that you wash after prepping and slicing, because of all the sediment and everything that can get under the layers, and as well as the fact that you only are really looking for the yellow part of it. So we got a little bit of the root, and with that, I can then set it up to dice. While I talk about this. Oop, accidentally cut through there, but if I hold it, it'll be fine. And we're gonna make a slice here, slice here, and there's a good bit of the onion. Ooh. Man, are my eyes going. Most of the rest of that is root, but we will chop off this a little bit right here. I'm not going to use the other half of the onion now because I think I have enough. But now, after learning how to brulee all the onions and stuff, we learned how to do the bouquet garni and what that is, which is basically kind of like a sachet type of sorts, in which you tie your sachet and your aromatic herbs and stuff around a piece of celery and then some twine. And then we also learned how to do an onion piquet, which is taking an onion and basically putting bay leaves on top and securing the bay leaves by attaching cloves to them. So now, these are the peppers that I'm going to be adding. I've got 2 habaneros and 1 big boy jalapeno. I've got another habanero on the side and a couple more jalapenos, but I'm going to wait to see about how the spiciness level is after I mix it up and see, since it is going to be a cold serve salsa, and then we'll see if we need to add a little bit more. Just going to chop off the stems. We're not going to take the seeds or the ribs out, because honestly I want all that spice, but this big guy here, I am gonna quarter him. Key to holding stuff that's round, which Chef was saying, especially comes in true for with julienning, which is one of the cuts I was talking about earlier that we learned, is that it really helps to use the tip of the knife, because you can really just hold it there, especially if it's a round object or something that's prone to rolling like a potato. You're gonna need to hone this later. We'll just drop those in there.
Nani?
And then put those to the side. Now we're gonna go ahead and just drop our pineapple in. Now we're gonna juice a couple limes, add it into the bowl. And honestly, I was gonna do this in the Cuisinart, but it's very small, and I could just add it in multiple sections, but I think I might try to use the little hand blender. That's about it in food prep though. I got a few more weeks left of food preparation 1, and then I'll be moving on to food prep 2 and baking as well, and sanitation will be over as well. By the end of that, I'll have my ServSafe certification. In sanitation, for the most part, all I've been doing is, you know, just more general sanitation stuff and safety stuff. For me, it's a lot of repeat things after working in like grocery and stuff for a good bit of time and doing like bakery work. It's definitely coming in handy to, you know, learn it in like a more formal setting, in which case I'll, you know, actually be getting a good certification that I'll be able to take somewhere and be able to use on my resume for getting like a job in the industry. That'll be really helpful, because I know, especially in the state of Florida, it's required at all times to have a ServSafe manager on duty in any food industry job.
Okay, so since there was way too much background noise, I am gonna go ahead and voice this over, because no matter how much I asked the background noise to stop, it didn't stop. Anyway, so basically in the rest of food sanitation and safety, ended up going over like how to properly store stuff and the levels in which you store things. Your RTE food, your ready to eat food, should be up top, followed by any food that going in descending order based on your proteins. You know, you should have chicken and poultry always on the bottom because of salmonella. You can have your beef up top, followed by like your pork and your other things, all depending on whether or not it's been processed, like ground, if it's like a tenderloin or shank, depending on the cut. So after juicing the limes though, I ended up grabbing the hand blender and then started blending the whole mixture together. I ended up wanting a really like fine, nicely like blended salsa, so that's what I went for in the end. And then I ended up trying it, and it was pretty good, but I felt like it could have had a little bit more kick and a little bit more pineapple flavor. So I ended up adding some more pineapple juice, about like a cup and a half, and then I added the last habanero pepper I had, as well as the jalapeno. And then from there, I tried it again, and I was like, definitely a little bit more salt, really activate the flavors, give it that nice taste, and really like bring it out. I did that, and then we were ready to jar it up.
Okay, so the salsa was a hit. I filled those 5 little jars that you see. This is all I have left, is this tiny little jar left. And I also had not only those, but I had 4 big jars, about like this big, full of salsa. And I'm through all of it. I gave 1 to my professor, I gave 1 to my brother and sister-in-law, another, and they shared that with my brother. My family brought that over. We ate through 1 of them ourselves, and 1 small jar, and then 1 of the big jars also went to a little like Valentine's potluck at the school for June's cosmetology program, and they absolutely loved it. A bunch of people want to buy my salsa, and has me now thinking about, you know, some things that I can do with that, as well as my food business that I've been wanting to open, that I've kind of been planning lightly on the side, figuring out what all I want to do, my menu, all that stuff. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, I was really, really proud of the way it came out, and my professor was even telling me that, like, I need to give myself more credit, that I did a really good salsa. He said it was delicious. Like, I'm gonna eat some right now, real quick, while we do this outro, before I go in and eat, because I gotta go to work soon. Ooh, I can smell the heat coming off it. They said there was a real nice, like, sweetness in the beginning, and then the heat hits you in the middle, and then on the back end, it's just heat and freshness, so... Can't say he's wrong. It's so good. I really need to make more. Maybe see if I can make some small improvements to it. I might even make like a chunky version, because some people did want a chunkier version. But as it stands, the consistency that it is, I really like it. And it's absolutely delicious on tacos. If you happen to like to eat meat, you can do steak with it, or, because, you know, pineapple and steak pairs really well. But also, it's really good on seitan, or any, like, meat substitute. I really want to take this and do, like, a more, like, tropical-inspired, like, flavor of enchiladas verdes, and I think it'd be delicious. That's enough of that. I really want to thank everybody for watching my content and supporting me. And if you really enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you want to see more content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload a video. But I'm going to eat this, make my veggie burger, and go to work. Bye.